Hey, hope everyone's doing well. This video, I'm going to talk about working in hospitality, my experience in it, and the pros and cons of what I think it's done to me. So, I'm 21 years old, and whilst I was in sixth form, which is kind of like a college, let me think what age for people that might not know. Maybe it's like 17 to 18. That's only a year. Maybe it's like 17 to like 19. I don't know. It's quite old. I don't know. But then again, I feel like I was too young for 16. I know, around that age anyway, for anyone that doesn't know, I can't completely remember. But I remember I turned 18 in it, so it's around that time, and it's only 2 years. But I started it around that time. So to be fair, I was probably about 17, right? And I had that job throughout college, and it was on the weekend, so it was Saturday and Sunday, and it was like a cafe, right? And it was a bit of money along the side, so that's why I did it. And then when I was 21, literally the age I am now, I actually was it? No, it would have been 20, because yeah, I started my new job last August. My birthday has been since, so yeah, that makes me 21. So it was last year, which it still isn't far away. So that made it 4 years. If that maths adds up, just about, I think. So yeah, it's a long time to be at that kind of job. Now, let me go over what I did. So I started on the weekends, and it was kind of like a weekend job, but alongside school. So on the half terms, you'd have like maybe a week or 2 weeks, and like summer holidays, like 6 months. This is all in the UK. You'd get a lot, and that's where I'd work as well. So to start off with this, I was earning, this is in the UK, and this was like all legal. I was earning like £4.60, which was minimum wage, but it was below like 18. They do mess you over, mess you up, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's bad. But at the same time, I did it and I loved it, because one of my friends basically used to work there and told me, oh, I literally just earned like £100 in 1 month working at this job. And I was just like, what? Because obviously when you're quite young, it's quite a lot of money to you. And that must have been actually when I was 16, because it was just as I was going in sixth form. So that makes sense now. Does that make it right? Because I remember, yeah, to be fair, and then over the summer holidays when you're working the entire month, I remember that was probably about like 100 hours, and that worked out then to be about like £460, which, I mean, that was loads to me anyway, because of course you don't get any money when you're young. So it was great, and it's a bit of fun as well, like genuinely a bit of fun. I was just like a barista, just, you know, making coffee and speaking to people and stuff, serving, whatnot. And it was good, and it made me money, and I could afford things. I started saving for a car. Like it was genuinely just, it puts money in your pocket, and earning your first job like that is just brilliant. It's honestly brilliant, because then you go out on the weekends with all your friends. You can afford to go out, spend money on nice things. Yeah, it's cool. So if you're young, you're getting into a job, then 100%. I mean, to be honest, it's a lot of the time it's your only option. It's hospitality. So do it. Now, I stuck with it then, even till I left sixth form. Now, luckily with this job, it kind of grew with me. So whatever I wanted, it kind of just adapted to. When I was at college, it was fine doing that, and then once I left, I could actually go full time. I mean, of course, that depends on the type of place, because sometimes they don't let you, but I actually became full time. And bear in mind, a little bit way through the college, I actually became like a shift leader, kind of key holder position, where basically the manager's not there all the time. In these small coffee shops, you usually just have like one manager and then a bunch of these kind of like shift leaders. It's a quite common structure, which came with the pay rise. By then though, I did actually go up a lot more. I can't actually remember, but it was above £10, and that is pretty much where I left it at. It's probably like between 11 and 12, something like that. But I remember like I was earning above minimum wage, because obviously they can't give me minimum wage when I'm in like a shift leader position, and that was really cool, because I learned a lot more like manager skills and stuff. But you don't really think of it at the time. Now, if I think back to how I was as a person before, I honestly, I had a bit of confidence with my friends and stuff, but the general public, I would not know what to do. Just to say hello to people and stuff, like it's wild. It was wild to me. So getting thrown into it, and I honestly, my heart used to beat and beat when I was on the till, when I was on the coffee machine. I'd be stressing out, but eventually I'd do it so chill, and I'd actually start enjoying it, and I'd ask how people's day were, and that change happens instantly. I mean, instantly, probably within about 6 months, until you do that full transition of like you're in the zone, you're happy to speak to people, and honestly, it really builds character completely, like fully builds character. It's brilliant. And then basically past then, I went through a couple stages. Me and my friend started a marketing business, so I went just to the weekends, which is brilliant because it adapted to me. And then I went full time, and then I've got to carry on because I've got to end the story, haven't I, guys? So I was shift leader, and then I did want to go for the assistant manager, but it never quite happened. These places, you've got to have a certain type of things going your way. There's got to be a position there for one. You've got to really get on with your team very well, because that's literally all you have. It's not like in a big office where you get promoted to another role and then like you've got a team to look after, but your boss is like, you might have a couple Teams calls with them a week. You're like this with them, and not only that, but with every single one in the team, because it's hospitality. You're with everyone, it's teamwork, and you're physically doing something all together, and you're running the shop. You really have to get on, and it wasn't. I trained enough for it, but clearly, the manager just didn't really want me to do it. But what can I say? The job was good, and it took me places, and I knew if I stopped there, I could keep going, and I knew in a few months I could become this assistant manager, or even I could just go straight for a couple local jobs that wanted the store manager, and I do think I could have done that, and I just didn't. It wasn't me. Being on your feet all day. Now we're going to get into some negatives, but doing this as full time, I'll go to the negatives and then we'll go over the positives, right? Completely. Doing it full time, right? It does do a lot of stress onto your body, because you are on your feet all the time. And I know that sounds lazy, but it's not just on your feet and, walking around like we're meant to do. It's on your feet from 6 a.m. in the morning till like 4 p.m. in the afternoon. maybe with like we had a half an hour break, and you know, you can't sit down, there's no seats, and it's a lot on your body. So that genuinely does take a toll on you. I had to buy some decent, I got myself some Timberlands. I think I kind of wrecked them just from that job, I probably had them for a year straight every day. Even those shoes, they're brilliant shoes, but on your feet 8 hours a day, it will just wreck them. Any shoes. But I mean, yeah, if you are in the role, invest in some good shoes, because yeah, you need them. So it takes a general strain on your body, and you do hit limitations eventually, and you just do need to grow further, and you might need to, you've got two options: you either climb the ladder or you move. And that's of course what I did, and then I got an apprenticeship, which I'm so grateful for now. I'm doing very well in it, and I love it. So it was perfect. But you know, it's just good to go in it. And the skills I've learned now, I can see really set me apart from so many people, because there's nothing like it. It's like anything, you're playing an instrument and you don't know what anything is, and you're learning, and the only way to fully master it is just go over it again and again and again and again, and then you'll get it. And that's the exact thing with speaking to people. And with hospitality, you get to literally do it over and over again, but then you also get money whilst you do it. And it's brilliant. And if you get yourself in a good team, which I did, you can have a right good laugh with a bunch of people, and it can be real fun. Of course, I've seen loads of people come and leave over the years, and at times it can get toxic, and it's because you're all so tight-knitted. But you just got to push through it, and always be truthful, stay to yourself, and you'll be all right. You'll be able to ride through that. So, a bit of a weird one, because for me personally, I didn't want to do it as a career. I felt like it was more, I enjoy the kind of creative side and technical side of what I do now. But in terms of just raw skills, and working like this was just brilliant. So yeah, do it. If you're young, you want to get into a job to earn money, hospitality, you'll actually never regret it. And I'm making this video mainly because a lot of people are probably like, nah, you won't catch me with an apron on behind that counter or something like that. But honestly, in the job market, day to day, you learn skills that literally stay with you forever. And now I'll literally be with my friends and we'll go to a shop, and the way that they speak to people, I can tell they're a little bit shy, but I'll be able to speak to them and ask how their day is and have a general conversation so much easier than they would be able to, purely just because I've worked hospitality. So do it, man. It'll give you confidence, give you money. Just drop the ego and do it. I'll catch you all later.